We're almost at the end of the Beach Camogie Championship first round. Stay put for how you could win a guaranteed 100 million euro with Euro Millions. That's a guaranteed 100 million euro. It's game on now, Jeff.
This Friday's Euro Millions Mega Draw is a guaranteed 100 million euro. It's the one you've all been waiting for. Play responsibly through the app, in-store or on lottery.ie. Share the dream.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Modern Living with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today we are speaking with Leon Youngblood, and he has a very special project that he is bringing to you. We are talking Battle Cry, a soldier's anthem. Well, in San Diego, it's a military town, as I'm sure that many of you guys across America know. If you live in a military town, this particular interview is going to ring home for you. We want to support our veterans and all they do. So Rodney E. Burns has personally witnessed the plight of homeless veterans. The song Battle Cry, a soldier's anthem, was spawned from seeing their daily struggle. Rodney created this song as a catalyst for raising money for Binishells. Well, Binishells are environmentally safe, weatherproof mini homes that all of our veterans who are experiencing homelessness may be able to utilize. Well, it feels incredibly gratifying to give back to our veterans who have given so much. And as the song lyrics spell out, all gave some, but some gave all. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to do all I can to support our veterans and saluting them for what they have given to us so that we can walk in our freedoms is just a little something that we're trying to do today. If you want to know more about this song, please visit www.allgave.com. That's ALLGAVE.com. But without any further ado, let's bring Leon on the line. Hello, Leon. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Angela. And I want to send a special shout out to your listeners, your faithful supporters. And I want to thank everybody all across the world for supporting our veterans. I'm a veteran as well. And Dr. Angela has ties to veterans and people in the military, too. So it's just really one big family, and we welcome your audience to our listening party, and we appreciate them all.
Thank you. So I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So before we start talking a little bit about the song, if you can, please, there's someone saying, well, what are Binishells? What are you talking about? So can you explain to everyone what is that? And how did you decide that that's what you wanted to kind of move towards?
Yes, Dr. Angela. Binishell Homes was created by Dante Bini, B-I-N-I. So it's B-I-N-I-S-H-E-L-L-S. So it's Dr. Bini. He created Binishell Homes in the 1960s. He was way ahead of his time. They are environmentally green, monolithic, dome-shaped homes. To be honest with you, they look like, if you've ever saw Fred Flintstone, they look like Fred Flintstone's house. But these homes are incredibly green efficient, and the ingenuity that Dr. Dante Bini used back then is still heads and shoulders above what's being used today. Binishell homes are fireproof, they're waterproof, they're mold-proof, and they're earthquake-proof. Dr. Beanie created 4 back in Australia in the 1960s, and they are still standing, even through all the conditions, the storms. They're right on the beach. They're still standing. They're still holding up. So these are a wonderful, wonderful alternative for homelessness for our veterans. These are homes that are environmentally green. They come fully furnished, and they're very, very inexpensive. So that's what Binishell homes are.
Now, I know that you have ties with this beautiful project, Battle Cry, A Soldier's Anthem. What do you hope to accomplish for our veterans by not only having created the song, but in the promotion of the song?
Well, Dr. Angela, we want to raise awareness of our veterans' condition. And I know it doesn't matter what party you're on, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, it does not matter. What Michelle Obama said was this. She said, no one who has ever wore the uniform defending our country should ever spend their days and nights sleeping on the ground. And it is a travesty that our veterans are sleeping on the ground. The reason why we have the freedoms that we have and what you're enjoying right now, and I'm enjoying right now, and we're not being censored and all this type of nonsense that goes on in other countries, is because our veterans fought for our freedom. And like the song said that Rodney Burns wrote, all gave some, but some veterans gave all. Some of them did not come back. So we want to be able to get them off the streets and get them into these Binishell homes, because we feel that it's their right to be in the home. It's not their right to be sleeping on the street.
Well, listeners, we need to take a very short break, but when we get back, we will continue this wonderful conversation that we need to have about an alternative, about something we can do to get our veterans off the ground and into homes. We'll be back right after this.
Kingdom AA Electronics is the first 100% African-American owned electronics company and is dedicated to making the community better with our presence. And to that end, 60% of all profits go back into the community. Unlike most companies, we hire workers regardless of a felony status and pay living wage to all. So if you're looking to buy high-quality electronics and feel satisfied with your purchase, then visit Kingdom AA Electronics at www.kingdomaelectronics.ecwid.com. Kingdom AA Electronics, your source for high-quality electronics on the web.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Modern Living with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today, we are talking about our veterans. And I think that it is so appropriate, especially with the 4th of July coming up. But independent of our country's celebration, we're talking about our country's veterans, and it's always a good time to talk about what we can do to help them. Now, I know that I'm not a political show. I'm not telling you that as a Democrat or as a Republican, you need to do anything. That's your independent choice and your right to choose. However, as just a proud American, I think that we need to support those that have sacrificed so that we can walk in our freedoms. So, Leah, we were talking about there's this wonderful thing that's called a beanie home that may be a solution to our veterans' homelessness, and that there's this song, Battle Cry, A Soldier's Anthem, that may be able to play into that and help raise awareness for what's going on. How did you get everyone involved in bringing this project together to help our veterans in the first place?
Well, Dr. Angela, I live in San Diego, which is a military town. Billions of dollars are actually generated from the military. Yet the men and women who allow us, again, to enjoy all these liberties, we noticed were being left out on the streets and neglected. Dr. Angela, to me as a veteran and to others that I've known, this makes no sense. And people who respect our soldiers see this as a travesty, even your listeners.
Yeah.
And we all came together with Rodney Burns, the songwriter, Preston Harris, an amazing singer, and Don Destin, the music producer. We all came together, and we literally blood, sweat, tears, just seeing what was going on. Rodney came up with the most amazing song. Preston put a voice to it that is unbelievable, and Don Destin is a 15-time platinum music producer. He really, really hit home with this song, and I would love for your listeners to be able to actually hear it. None of them will be able to listen to this song without crying. None of them. It will affect them as it affected you, Dr. Angela.
And listeners, don't worry, we are going to get a little snippet of the song. Not going to give you the whole thing, but we are going to give you a little snippet of the song, and it really is quite moving. Now, if I understand correctly, the Guinness Book of World Records is involved in some way, shape, or form with this project. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, we noticed a stigma that was associated with our veterans, a stigma of neglect that was being associated with our veterans. These are actually America's heroes. And we wanted to get America behind this project and support it by downloading Battle Cry, a soldier's anthem, on iTunes or either at the website. Americans can actually collectively show their support for our veterans and also give them the world record for the most downloaded digital single. With over 400 Americans in America, this should be a record that belongs to our veterans. So we contacted the Guinness Book of World Records and told them that we were going for the record. We believe that it is not a hard sell for Americans who enjoy freedom to support our veterans and download the song. And that will get thousands of veterans off the streets and into Binishell homes. And that's our goal. The money that comes from Battle Cry, a soldier's anthem, from this song, is going directly to purchase Binishell homes and get our veterans off the streets.
Well, listeners, we are going to play just a little snippet of the song for you so that you can get just a little taste of what the song sounds like. But of course, we want you to go and download it for yourself.
It was an empty pot of gold. The soldiers told the stories through the sky. But even more than we can see, it's what we don't concerns me.
Well, as you can hear, it is a wonderful, heartfelt song. And, you know, when someone really puts their all into a song, I think you're able to hear that. You're able to hear the passion that the person has. You're able to hear the sincerity. And in hearing the whole song, it really and truly does move you. And Leon, if you can, please, can you let everyone know where do they go to download the song again?
Yes, you can go to iTunes and download Battle Cry, a soldier's anthem by Preston Harris. Again, go to iTunes and download Battle Cry, a soldier's anthem by Preston Harris, or this is a very, very easy website, www.allgave.com. www.allgave.com. You can go there and download the song, and that will help our veterans get off the streets. And more importantly, we want you to share this song and this experience on social media with all your family, friends, and relatives, even city and state government officials, because if they have land set aside, we can put hundreds of Binishell homes on that land and get veterans off the street. So not only do your listeners not only is this a cure for homelessness for veterans, but it is actually a cure for homelessness for all people who are being overpriced on housing, that can't afford housing. Binishells are $70,000, and they are fully furnished 900 square feet, environmentally sound homes that houses two veterans separately, so they have their own separate quarters. We're giving them dignity. They have their own separate quarters. It's fully furnished and environmentally green. It uses 1/3 of the energy as a regular home, and then it's all local. The materials are all locally sourced. So when the Bini homes are created in the communities all across America, the people in those communities benefit from the jobs. So we're helping everybody. We're helping the community. We're helping the veterans, and us as Americans are feeling amazing because we're doing something. We're not asking you to buy $110 million Basquiat painting. We're not asking you to do that. There's people out there that's listening that can buy a $110 million painting. But do you know how many Bini homes how many veterans we can get off the street for just $1 million? We can get literally 500 to 600 veterans off the street and into homes. So that's what I want people to understand. I want people to understand what the priorities are. And the priorities are to take care of the people who took care of you. Some of these people have lost limbs, and the veterans are just sitting on the corners asking for food. They're just asking for some type of help. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get emotional, but people have to understand where their priorities are. And that's all we want to bring is awareness so that people can support this and get these veterans. They're our sisters. They're our brothers. They're our mothers and fathers, our aunts, our uncles. Help get them off the street and into Binishell homes.
And, I just love that lyric. It really just stands out. All gave some, but some gave all. And that really is, the lyric that changes your heart, that just kind of shifts your gears for a second, because we all know someone that is touched by the military in one shape or form or another. It doesn't matter what age you are. We all have been affected. And I think this is a wonderful and very easy and contemporary way to make a difference simply by downloading a song. Well, listeners, we need to take another short break, but when we get back, we're going to continue to shed light on this wonderful cause, a battle cry, a soldier's anthem. We'll be back right after this.
Do you know how much you're paying annually in hidden fees to manage your 401k? A 2% fee will eat away half of your 401k over 30 years, and average fees are an astounding 3 to 5%. So is your 401k a benefit or a liability? Is there a better way to save for retirement? One without hidden fees, taxes, or stock market losses? There is. Find out how you can save your family's financial future by calling Wade Taylor at 818-860-0661 or visit iwanttohelpfamilies.com and click on Retire with Dignity.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for a special episode of Modern Living with Dr. Angela. And I am your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today, we are talking about a soldier's anthem, a very wonderful song entitled Battle Cry. We have Leon Youngblood, who is our special guest today. And I say this one is special because 4th of July is right around the corner. And what a very wonderful way to celebrate our veterans on our country's birthday by doing a very simple thing, but by doing a very simple thing. You are helping those who have given so much for our great country. And the beautiful thing about iTunes is that it doesn't matter where you live in the world, you can download this wonderful, wonderful song. So, Leon, you made mention that these Binishell homes are only $70,000 and they're able to house two veterans. And that when you said that, that just absolutely blew my mind. Now, I know that there's someone going, $70,000, that's a lot of money. But living in California, we know that $70,000 does not get you a lot of home. And I say that very vaguely. Your average house, your average home in California is easily 6 figures. So $70,000, I hear that and say that is a steal of a price to be able to give to veterans their own dwelling. I think that that's absolutely amazing. But better yet, you mentioned that no matter where the homes are built, that it's done locally, that you are using local contractors to build the homes. That in itself is really, really great. Have you had any feedback or any comments from our veterans who have already moved into the homes? Do we make a big brouhaha about it, when they move in, or do we, or is it simply they move in and we just in our hearts know that now they're safe and that they're off the streets?
Basically, Dr. Angela, there is a huge brouhaha about it. Because when your listeners go to our website at www.allgate.com, they can actually read about the land that we're purchasing, and platinum sponsors will have their name encrusted, enshrined above the Binishells homes. And then what happens is, whoever sponsored that, they get to meet the veterans. They get to meet the veterans and see who the veterans are. We actually will film the entire process from the veteran that we met that are getting off the streets to actually putting them into the homes. So that is our method of moving it forward as far as the brouhaha. That's what we're going to do. We're going to actually create a documentary on every single person that your listeners and listeners around the world help. They can actually go to our website and they can actually see each and when we accomplish the actual process, they'll see every veteran that we've helped from on the streets, our interview with them on the streets, who they are. They'll meet them, know when they served, where they served, and then they'll actually see them getting into the home, getting their keys, and the tears and everything will be overwhelming. So that's the plan that we have laid out. We haven't put any veterans in homes yet because we just launched the project. This is actually the kickoff. This is the first day of the project that we're launching worldwide to let everybody know. But that is the plan, to let everybody know and to show each and every veteran that we help and get off the streets. So that's the plan.
Awesome. And I love that idea that you get the proof for those that may be, oh, are you sure? It's like, yes. I love how you're saying it's from the start to finish. It's here's the veteran, here's the home, here's them moving in, and everyone is comfortable. There's that transparency there, and you really feel like you were a part of the project because you got to watch from start to finish. And that really kind of segues into my last question for you. And I know that you've made comments before, and you've said that this generation is such a charitable generation when it comes to the human equation. Can you kind of talk a little bit more about that? What did you mean exactly?
Well, Dr. Angela, Americans are very, very intelligent people. And once they understand where their priorities are and what's important to them, Americans are resilient. They always respond. That's why we have things like GoFundMe. That's why people from all over our country are being helped, whereas they were going the traditional and conventional ways of trying to get help, and no one helped them. But once someone brought to the media or brought to various and sundry outlets such as your wonderful show, and your listeners heard it and they understood what it was about, they respond. Americans are the most charitable people on earth. And like I said, we're not asking them to buy $110 million Biscuit painting like several people have done. We're just asking them to prioritize what's important and to look at the fact that these people that you're walking by every day, that you see holding signs, all they're asking for is an opportunity. But it only takes one person to try and change the world. The power of one can change the world. And with your voice going out to all of your listeners and them sharing this all over the country, we can actually make a difference. One person can't. And I want to encourage your listeners who have ideas about doing things. I want them to know that we'll all get behind them. Because like I said, Dr. Angela, America has the most charitable individuals on earth. But once they understand where their priorities are, because we did a survey, 87.9% of all people support veterans and first responders. So that's the reason why we had contacted the Guinness Book of World Records, because Robin Thicke currently owns this title to a song called Blurred Lines with 15.9 million downloads. We want to blow that out the water. We have 400 million Americans. So if you do the math, 87.9% of us love veterans. We should blow this download record out of the water. So the Guinness Book of World Records is aware of our situation, but more than that, we want your listeners to respond, and we want them to move forward with this and to make this a big thing.
Well, listeners, I hope that you are up for the challenge, but it's so simple. It's quite easy. It's a simple download of the song. And I think that it is just an easy way to show how important our veterans are, to remind them that they are America's heroes. In spite of what anyone says, we salute them. They are upstanding and wonderful, wonderful people. And they really have given much more than we could ever imagine or think out there fighting for our country. We know that many of them don't talk about what happened. We know that many of them do. We know that all of them have come back in one way or another, but we are just so happy and we should be so proud and just want to support however we can. And if you're one of those people who say that you are a humanitarian or you want to be a philanthropist, you're an aspiring philanthropist, what a great way to kick off your philanthropy, to establish yourself as someone who wants to give, to assist the community, to help our military, and to just be that great Christian person that you want to be, and helping those that really and truly need our help. Well, Leon, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing this beautiful and wonderful project with our listeners.
Hey, Dr. Angela, I just want to say one thing. We are the only organization that I know of with our platinum sponsorship where we donate 100% of everything our platinum sponsors give to Binishells, to Binishell Homes. And if you guys want to read up on Binishell Homes, it's BINISHELLS.com. We had over 18 million views in 2 weeks.
Yes.
We are actually onto something, and we need your support. And we're the only organization that gives 100% of that platinum sponsorship to this project.
Thank you, Leon, so much for that. And listeners, please make sure you do that. And as always, may the Lord continue to shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.